seaside, sitting sand. Even little children, they want to jelly band. All day, all night with Marianne. Marianne, oh Marianne, won't you marry me? We will have lots of fun, great big family. Children by the
It was the dead of winter in most parts of the hemisphere. Most parts, that is, except Freeport, Grand Bahama. The scene hadn't been played since 1966, but here, now, some 18 years later, over 130 racing enthusiasts from around the world gathered in Freeport for a week of vintage racing and fun in the sun. The Nassau Speed Week started in 1954 and carried through more than 13 years of winter racing. This group is here to celebrate that event and celebrate anything else they could think of as well. They had loaded their rigs in the cruise ship Scandinavia Sun some 6 hours prior in Miami Harbor. They are now ready to do semi-serious battle on the streets of Freeport. But before that happens, there's other work to be done, like getting through customs. Getting in the right frame of mind to handle the customs officers was made easier by the fact that there was an unlimited supply of rum punch to be had. When customs realized they couldn't check 6,000 toolboxes, the Bahamians heated up their drums and we were on our way to downtown Freeport. It was somewhat reminiscent of MacArthur returning to the Philippines. All the hoopla and the bands and the friendly locals made the racers feel more than welcome, and everyone knew this week was going to be something special.
coming down the street. Oh Lord, this music is sweet. Everybody sing.
It was the kind of an event where you would tow it, push it, or drive it, but above all, get it to Freeport. Before we go racing, let's take a look at how this course is laid out through the streets of Freeport. The track enclosed the pit area, several hotels, and the International Bazaar. It involved blocking off 5 major downtown intersections. Start-finish was located in front of the International Bazaar, then proceeded through a kink, past the casino and Princess Tower, through a relatively easy right-hander and onto the widest part of the track. Turn 2 and 3 are both high-speed sweepers necessitating hard braking in preparation for the very tight Turn 4 along the short chute and another tight right-hander leading up to a high-speed sweeper in 6, past the Castaways Hotel, and into Turn 7, another tight right-hander, leading up to a relatively fast Turn 8, past the Windward Palms, into the Carousel, which was a constant radius traffic circle, leading you back onto the front straight and the finish line. Our coverage begins with the Formula cars. The minor formulas have always been a stepping stone to Formula One and have allowed exciting racing at relatively low costs. In each group of cars, there are 2 to 3 classes running at one time. Throughout the week, there are heat races, match races, mark races, international races, any kind of a race or challenge you can think of. What you will see is the best that each group had to offer. Although it may appear that they are running for money, the only rewards are a few trophies at the end of the week. Winners were determined by total points accumulated at the end of the week. Points could be earned by racing, playing golf, concours participation, gymkhana dexterity, and how many parties you attended. Sit back and enjoy the best that Freeport has to offer, 1984. IMSA and kart driver Bobby Rahal awaits his turn. He will be driving a Jag XK120 in Group 2. Remember when? Like Formula car racing, sports car racing reached its peak in the 50s and 60s. The MGs, Alphas, Triumphs, and Porsches all going after that coveted checkered flag. In a somewhat haphazard manner, it appears. It was run what you brung over any kind of race course that merely had a few hay bales tossed about. Absolutely fabulous memories from years gone by, with various degrees of driving skill. Oh, oops. Group 2 included a wide array of cars, which gave it a true vintage appearance. Some were out there racing, some were out there just trying to survive until the next party. Bob Pass's Porsche Roadster sports a minor bruise. Neil Babbs readies his Fiat Abarth. And here's Bob Williams in his C4R Cunningham, all ready to lay waste to the Freeport course.
23 and 17.
Craig Hinton's C-Type Jaguar. Here's winner Ted Gildred taking his checkered flag lap in his Porsche RSK. Also entered in the event was George Waltman and his 1948 MGTC.
Hey, Billy.
There was nightlife in the Bahamas, to be sure. Every night there was nightlife. There were parties sponsored by Butler and Sands, Ford Motor Company, Passport Transport, Hoyer Watches, and Polyclad. There was any kind of a party you wanted. Now here's documented proof that there was more rum consumed during the week than gasoline. Who said race drivers don't have fun? And who said race drivers aren't pretty?
All this love is waiting for you, my baby. All this love is waiting for you.
Hans Huweiler enjoyed it. So did Arthur Dietrich. There were the usual trophies for golf, racing, and even some special trophies for getting up in the morning, breathing, well, what have you. The nightlife ended when the race course opened the next morning. The late 50s and early 60s saw a certain liking for the American V8 engine, starting with the Scarabs, the DeMars, and the V8-powered Coopers, the Corvettes, and later the Cobra. They formed the beginning of the big bore era. Group 3 introduced several of these cars to the Freeport audience. The formidable Scarab, driven here by Don Orozco. The relatively stock XK140 of Alva Rodriguez. Fred Glassner and Ed Henning drove an impeccable pair of competition MGs under the McDonald's banner. Steve Klein and Gerald Halverson both drove Echidnas, V8-powered American race cars. A rare Lotus Type 47 and Carl Larson's DeMar led the way, followed by Chad LaFour's 1962 Daimler. Dick Francey's 1958 Aston Martin took the back door. With racing lasting more than a week, drivers' meetings were a common occurrence. A very casual affair, it was come as you are. Let's meet some of these drivers up close.
Bob, what group are you running in this week?
Running in Group 4 against Corvettes, Ferraris, AC Cobras, and a lot of other cars that have tires as wide as this entire car. But we hope to do pretty well against them.
What's your racing strategy, if you have any?
Keep the car running. I think that's what we're going to do. But we'll save the car for next weekend, too. We want to run the whole week.
Yes, it would turn into a real vacation if your car broke early, I suppose.
Yes, it might be a very long vacation. If the car breaks, we won't have any way to get back home.
Ali, MG's got a long racing history behind it. What kind of cars are you going to be running against this week?
Well, we'll be running against a couple of MGs and an old Bentley. So I guess I'm in the right class to go nice and slow and keep up the good history of MG. It won't break.
What group are you running in?
We're in Group 1B, which is one of the slower classes, but based on the tremendous enthusiasm of our sponsor and letting us run another car since the Alpha broke prior to coming down here, I think we'll do real well with it.
Do you have any particular race strategy for the week?
Oh, hopefully it'll stay together. That's the biggest strategy, and to run a good, clean race. This is a first-time event, and it's a dangerous course, and you've got to just take your time and think things out while you're out there.
Well, at least you can get a little suntan out there, right?
Oh, it's perfect weather for that. It's been a delightful trip and an incredible undertaking by the organizers and all the drivers and all the car owners.
Steve, the King Cobra was a very rare car indeed. Can you give us a little background on this particular car?
Yes, there were only 7 of them built, and this particular one was one of the last. The serial number is CM4-64, and it ran 2 races that I know of in 1964 at Riverside, and it was driven by Richie Ginther. It came in 7th after losing its oil plug. The winning car was also a King Cobra driven by Parnelli Jones. Then the following week it ran at Monterey, and the car finished 4th with Ronnie Bucknam driving.
You find the track suitable for this car with the big V8?
Yes, it's the track is pretty good for this car.
And how about, are you having fun?
Smile when you say that. Yeah, it's going good. It's going to be a good week.
All right. Thank you very much.
If you had to buy any of these cars new today, you could not afford the gas guzzler tax imposed by the EPA. There's Steve Dole and his King Cobra. There was a pair of Grand Sport Corvettes, Mark Simpson's beautiful Sunbeam Tiger, and Augie Papp's Ferrari LMB. All in all, enough horsepower to make the Richter scale very nervous. And to show you how the earth shakes, we put a camera in Raleigh Stevenson's Cobra. The engines used high-octane gasoline, and the drivers drank high-octane rum. Rum was used to cure the shakes one receives after driving one of these beasts. But enough said. Let's get on with the program.
right. Here comes the third place car.
Oil on the windscreen was an indication that all was not well. Is that even though the checkered flag dropped, the fun certainly did not stop. Once the cars were covered up and everything secured in the pit area, it was time to rush back to the hotel, take a quick shower, and go on with the good life. The beautiful International Bazaar boasted a myriad of stores featuring products from around the world. This bonanza, located within the racecourse, was a real shopper's delight. Nightlife included the casino. Day life included beach parties. This particular affair was hosted by Butler and Sands and Bacardi Rum. A natural with this atmosphere, don't you think?
We're having a great time. Wonderful.
It was a struggle, but somehow racing enthusiasts just seemed to fit into this type of life. If things slowed down for a minute, all you had to do was think about the weather back on the ranch. There were 2 days during the week without scheduled events. Wednesday provided a concours, celebrity gymkhana, and autocross for the racers, all at the Holiday Inn parking lot. Preparation for the concours was interesting. After 3 days of racing, there would definitely be something to clean on the cars. It was a chance to find that loose wire or that extra nut and bolt you couldn't locate in the engine compartment. This was the day to strut your stuff, to show how beautiful these restored gems can be. The soft Bahamian light gave the cars a beautiful luster, unmatched by any ordinary wax job. This beautiful Sadler Formula Libra car, owned by Jack Bockstrom, is a veteran from the early days at Nassau, having run here in 1960. It was better looking now than at any time in its life. The aesthetic lines of this Ferrari GTO hide the beast that lies within. Mike Rahal's Bentley takes its place in the sun. This pristine Lola is certainly prepared for racing in the Bahamas. It's equipped with air conditioning. With the conclusion of the concours, it was time for the Celebrity Gymkhana. Members of the working press and special guests were involved.
Buzzing in the crowd here for the autocross. What's your strategy out there?
Just get out and stand on it.
Bring it back in one piece?
well, you want to stay off the curbs and don't knock the pylons down. Just have fun.
Bondurant's times were impressive, but they were not to hold up. Veteran race driver George Fulmer had other ideas.
I want to see how strong Ford is built better. Okay.
George has driven everything on wheels, but hadn't driven a Ford lately, so we were concerned about how he would handle it.
Way around. Zephric's car pulls up behind us.
Well, he would do well enough and show us that boys still like to have fun.
Well, I'm not bragging, babe, so don't put me down. But I've got the fastest set of wheels in town. When something comes up to me, he don't even try. 'Cause if I had a set of wings, man, I know she could fly. She's my little scoop. You don't know what I got. Just a little disc coupe with a flathead wheel. But she'll walk a Thunderbird like she's standing still. She's ported and relieved and she's stroking forward. She'll do 140 in the top end floor. She's my little disc coupe. You don't know what I got. She's got a competition clutch with a 4 on the floor, and she purrs like a kitten till the lake pipes roar. And if that ain't enough to make you flip your lid, there's one more thing. I got the pink slip daddy, and coming off the line when the light turns green, well, she blows them out of the water like you never seen. I get pushed out of shape and it's hard to steer when I get rubber in all 4 gears. She's my little scoop. You don't know what I got. She's my little scoop. You don't know what I got.
Whether you were driving a 4-wheel drive pickup or an MG, there was always time for a smile. That smile was replaced by fright when first seeing these Group 5 FIA and Can-Am cars on the track. Down in the pits, we see the reason for all this commotion. Tire widths and engine displacement were about the same in numbers. These guys were playing for keeps. George Fulmer in the Lola T222 Can-Am car. Terry Jones in the Lola T70 Coupe. Preparation was something you would see prior to a space shuttle mission. This Ferrari 312 with its Formula One engine kept everyone's ears clean. It was helmets on, belts tight, and nerves at the ready. It was often said throughout the week that the vibrations generated by these racers could untie your shoelaces. But then, who needed shoes anyway? In contrast to the racing, the off days provided time for relaxation and local sightseeing. The race course was open to normal traffic, and by the way, driving on the left was a real challenge to the hot shoes. The free periods allowed some entrants time to make necessary repairs for the next day's race schedule. A segment of that schedule included the Super Sports Cars, a group of 16 racing automobiles from the United Kingdom that provided a spectacular show for everyone. Organized by racer David Piper, the owners shipped the cars in specially prepared containers. The British contingent was led by several veteran drivers, including Brian Redman, who comments on how to best drive a Chevron.
Bang, bang, like that. Very good little car. Nice car.
The very powerful Porsche 917s were mastered by a few. Richard Atwood was one of them.
Well, this one is the first time it's run since 1971. In fact, before it came here, it hadn't actually turned a wheel. And the first time it ran under its own steam was from the airport to here.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
The car looks pretty original. I take it that it hasn't been messed with too much.
No, it's virtually as it was. It's been looked at, and the engine's new, and the gearbox has been rebuilt by the factory, but other than that, the chassis and everything's exactly as it was in 71.
The 917s dominated international racing in 1970 and 1971. The powerful Flat 12 producing over 550 horsepower. David Piper knew the 917 well, but we found him in a Ferrari 330 P4. David comments on the logistics of bringing a group across the Atlantic.
It rather tickled our fancy that they're resurrecting this old race, you know, that used to be a famous end-of-season race every year here. And we thought that we'd do everything we could to help the organizers here, Bill Lutwack and the tourist board, get the thing off the ground the first year. And so we've bankrolled it ourselves this year, which has cost us a fortune, about $50,000 to get over here. We won't be able to afford to do it again, but let's hope the event gets off the ground and they get a bit of media coverage and we get a bit of sponsorship from somewhere to help pay the cost of getting the cars from Europe.
When the flag drops, you instantly understand why they are called supercars. The week went much too fast for everyone. It went smoother than it had a right to. The hospitality was unending, the weather delightful, and everyone knew they had experienced something very special.